Anita for reacting in a big way about my husband staying out all night. Husband 35, and I 35 have been together for 15 years. We have a 13-year-old and 8-year-old. I am an introvert and he is an extrovert. Things have been a bit rocky lately. He's not the greatest at communicating, and it normally ends up in him overly angry and closed off. When it comes to responsibilities, I mainly manage the house workload. Kids' responsibilities, half the bills he pays rent, home utilities, cell phone, his credit cards, his gas, and occasionally giving me some cash for extras. I cover car payment, car maintenance, gas for myself, car insurance, medical for kids, family expenses, and groceries, with miscellaneous items for everyone in the family. We both work, his work schedule being longer than mine. I am newly back into the workforce, third year after being a stay-at-home mom for years. I will be honest and say, I'm still learning to manage keeping work at home and leaving my emotions at the door, but I do bring some mental home. Lately DH has been super irritated when I vent about work. I am making efforts to work on it. He also complains we don't ever go on dates anymore, which is true, but some days I'm just drained from life. But I've tried nonetheless, and as of recently they just end in an argument. He's been so nasty with me, which makes me not want to go out with him. I try to plan family activities. He ends up separating from us or just blah, existing in the space. We recently had somewhat of conversation about it, where I tried to come up with a plan for us and just air how I'm feeling on my end. He voiced that he's miserable and feels like a caged animal, which I tried having understanding for. I've tried talking with him about going out and coming home at a reasonable time. His response was he's an adult. If I need a time, then the answer is tomorrow. When he goes out, he drinks and smokes weed, and ends up staying out so late that I end up parenting alone the next day, and if I get upset about it, I hear how I'm bitching about everything. Well, last night he went to a work event, which I was invited to but opted out, because I had a long day, taking both kids to youth sporting events, both which I volunteer in the entire time, one covering his responsibilities as a volunteer. Since he couldn't make it due to work, I often do this. He went to the event and it ended at a reasonable time. He decided to go to a bar after, then to his friend's house to hang out. All were fine to me because he was updating me and communicating. I fell asleep and woke up at 3 and realized he wasn't home. I called to check in since I didn't get another updates after 11:30. He said he was heading home but missed the exit. Be home shortly. Sounds good. I hung up the phone and waited. Then another hour passes, nothing. I called again and he tells me his friends called, they went to the casino and needed a ride, so he headed there. I tell him that he should head home and let them worrying about themselves. He agrees and says he will tell them he's heading home and will be home shortly. Again he never comes. I call him, no answers. For dozens of calls, I ended up driving around looking for him, and eventually he answers the millionth call and he says he fell asleep at the casino. He says he decided to go to the extreme and say fuck it since I just bitch about him going out. Am I being unreasonable, unrealistic, inconsiderate, not supportive? I'm so emotionally exhausted. Lead it.